Welcome to the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. I'm your host, John Moses. Today we'll preview the Indoor Conference Championships with the track and field coaches, as well as talk men's basketball with head coach Ted O'Talling. As well, we'll talk to our student athlete of the week. But for now, we'll talk women's basketball with head coach Jessica Smith. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
So, Coach, you're coming off a 74-62 win over American International College. What went right for your team?
Honestly, it was down the stretch. I think we made plays, and our defense stepped up and held them to 0 field goals down the stretch. And I think, playing a pretty even game for the rest of it. So it was good to have them step up and actually get the win for once.
Yeah, this is the second time this year you've beaten AIC. How much do you think it helped your team to play a familiar opponent that they've already beaten this year?
Yeah, it definitely gives you like a little confidence, but I think we knew going into it that both teams have changed a lot. There's been some evolution, whether it's how they play or how we play. So we knew it was going to be a new matchup and a different challenge.
Well, AIC played a lot of 2-3 zone in this game. How do you feel like your offense executed against it?
Yeah, I thought we did a nice job. I think one of the things that really helped us was, I wouldn't say we scripted it, but we had kind of a continuity that we always went to every single time after we broke the press, which gave them a little direction and gave them a purpose, and we were able to utilize that.
So as we'll see in these two highlight clips, Ando really moves the zone well with ball fakes. Yeah,
we made that a focus, whether it's using a ball fake or a shot fake every single time, and then also we also scripted a little bit here in breaking their three-quarter court press right into a zone offense. So we overload Liz right here and peel Ashley out for a misdirection. And then when we reverse the ball to overload, Ando uses another great fake and gets Liz an open three.
O'Cool Hayes really stuffed the stat sheet in this game. Recording a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks, 3 assists, 2 steals. Talk a little bit about her performance in this one.
Yeah, well, she took what the defense gave her, and then she also gave a great effort on the offensive boards to give us a chance to get some extra possessions. And then on the defensive end, she really locked in, especially down the stretch on LaFawn, their best shooter.
Now, as we'll take a look in these two highlights here, we get a great look at how athletic she is, particularly in transition.
Yeah, she was able to make up for a turnover here, getting back in transition and blocking the shot, which is always fun to see.
And then here on the offensive end.
Well, Bria gets an open three. Q crashes hard on that weak side and works extremely hard for this board, and then works extremely hard to finish and get the and one. It was a big play for us, momentum builder.
Yeah, one of the things about AIC is they're not particularly big, so that sort of allowed you to go small and Q and get on the offensive glass. Offensive rebounding was a big part of this game.
It was a huge part, especially down the stretch. I mean, we didn't make baskets every single possession, but we got offensive rebounds and finished after that, so it was big.
Well, AIC has 3 very dangerous scorers in Michelle LaFond, Alyssa Roach, and Mary Lisa Card. How do you feel like your defense did against them overall?
Overall, I think we did a pretty good job. I thought Sagard obviously had a really good game. I mean, she hit everything. Every single time she was open, she hit it. So that was challenging. But besides that, I think overall it was a good defensive performance.
So let's take a look at these final highlights here. And we get a couple good looks at Bria Moore once again. Open three-point shooting, offensive rebounding, just really her specialty.
Yeah, and this was her, I believe, her best game of the season and of her short career so far. So right here, we're moving the ball against the zone, found that gap again, got her an open three. And then, as we were talking, these offensive rebounds down the stretch really sealed the game for us. So Ashley works really hard to get it here, puts it up, and then Bria gets the offensive rebound, put back and one.
Just a great sequence down the stretch there. Couple of and ones, number of offensive rebounds, couple of open threes. Really nice game down the stretch for you girls.
Yeah, I was proud of them.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks.
On the other side of this break, we'll preview the conference championship for the indoor track season. This is the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. I'm your host, John Moses. Now we'll preview the conference championships for the indoor track season with head coaches Kevin LaShore and Shania Williams. Coaches, thank you for joining us. So, although you guys are both technically the men's coach and the women's coach of the track and field teams, you don't just coach the men and women. How does that work?
Well, we basically, it's event specific for coaching. So technically, I'm in charge of all of the sprinters, hurlers, and relays. Coach Williams has all the jumpers and all the crossover hurlers, and we have a coach for throws as well as distance and mid-distance. So it's kind of spread out over across the board.
Well, David Thomas has provisionally qualified for nationals in the long jump. Talk a little bit about his success this season and where you've seen the most improvement with him.
David's really just started to put it together. This is his, oh my gosh, never mind. His junior year. He actually hit provisionals last year and ran into an injury, but he's really gone and got his head on straight this year and just was really determined from day one. And he hit the first meet of the season and it's been improving ever since.
Well, Matt June has really shined in the high jump this year, and Tiara Mitchell has provisionally qualified for nationals as well. What type of techniques do you like to teach with your jumpers?
We really do a lot of, what do we do? Jumping is very technical. So I really take the time to explain all of the drills and practices, and I make sure they know that everything is going to relate to what we do in practice and competition, and we do a lot of video analysis, and what else do we do? Sorry, I'm really bad at this. Just mental preparation and strength training and conditioning. It really all relates to what they're going to do on the track and the jumps.
Well, with the Northeast 10 Championships coming up this weekend, is there anything that makes this meet different? Do you see the athletes preparing a little bit differently?
No, we try to, preach all throughout the season that we don't change anything. We keep everything the same. We compete from day one as if it's the conference championships. When you start changing things up, you do things differently, which causes performances to go up and down. We want to stay even keel. We work basically to try to have our best performances at the conference championships, our New England championships and national championships. In order to do that, you can't make drastic changes as the season goes on or as you get into those quote-unquote important meets. As it becomes familiar to them, they adapt to it, and then they're able to perform to the level that they should.
Well, what are some of your expectations for this weekend's meet? Last year in this competition, the men finished 8th and the women finished 3rd, so what do you expect this weekend to go?
We just expect them to go out there and compete hard and let the chips fall where they may. I kind of feel like if we go out there and we take care of business and kind of worry about ourselves, good things will happen, just as they did last season.
Same, just go out there and have a great competition.
Well, in the last few years, the track and field program has really taken off here at UNH with Shannon Gagne on the women's side, and as well as a number of very successful men's athletes. So, how has the program really taken the next step under your leadership?
It had a lot to do with, those older student athletes that we had first coming in. Coming in, 5 years ago was basically changing the culture of how the student athletes thought. You had to get them to think on a bigger level, on a national level, and Shannon was a big part of that. Getting her to buy in allowed us to kind of go out and get, those talented athletes that we have now. You spoke about Tiara Mitchell, the Ivy Watts, the Adi Dias, the Monica Yanez, and so on and so forth. Those are the things that we're able to, have us transform into a team that's competitive year after year instead of being, up and down or, not being able to compete at the highest level. Same for the men, when we got, Kevin Downing, Alric Best, Tyrone Sawyer, those guys changed what the program was and where it was going. And I think the guys coming in bought into that. So.
Well, coaches, thanks so much for your time. Great luck this weekend, and
Thanks.
Hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
On the other side of this break, we'll honor our Student Athlete of the Week. This is the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show.